Hello and welcome to revision of the character of Eric Birling from An Inspector Calls. At the start of the play, Eric is introduced as an outsider to the rest of his family. He has a drinking problem and has a strained relationship with his family, which all highlight his discontentment and difference right from the start. This could symbolise the discontentment of the younger generation and their desire to break away from the cage of their parents' values. Eric's involvement with Eva Smith is made out to be the most shocking of all. It is left until last for dramatic effect, and his parents react with great upset towards his behaviour. This is because Eric does what none of the other Birlings have. By having a relationship and child with a working class woman, Eric's behaviour exposes how the upper class and working class are in reality the same, which the older Birlings find utterly unbearable, as it breaks down the artificial barriers that they use to justify their own position in society. The audience develops sympathy for Eric from the start of the play. He is clearly an outsider and is mocked and scorned by his parents. He clearly struggles emotionally and lacks family love. Priestley does this to build a connection with Eric from the start. This makes us still side with him despite the alternative revelations about his violent and cruel behaviour. Here are some key quotes you might use to describe the character of Eric. Eric's treatment of Eva Smith, where he drunkenly forced himself upon her and sexually objectified a disempowered working-class woman, highlights the toxic masculinity and misogyny that pervaded the Edwardian upper classes. His behaviour reveals the dark heart of rich masculine identity that he and many rich men in society have grown up accepting. As he realises the consequences of his own actions, it is as though he undergoes a transformation where he realises the true nature of his despicable actions. When we learn that he stole £50 from Mr. Birling's office, we get further insight into the damaging masculine world that he is part of. Men at this time were expected to hide their emotions and prove their masculinity. Priestley suggests that this toxic behaviour is damaging to both men and women. We see that Eric is a victim of the toxic masculinity and poor parenting that he has grown up in and cannot escape. To an extent, it is not Eric's fault that he behaves the way that he does. By doing this, Priestley suggests that the problem is the society in which Eric has grown up in, rather than him as an individual. This is because Priestley wants us to see the negative effects of capitalism and toxic masculinity so that we learn socialist messages from the play. Here's a key quote to describe Eric's toxic masculinity. Despite this, though, Eric is innately moral, and similarly to Sheila, he develops socialist views as he empathises with the working classes and challenges the hypocrisy of his parents' behaviour and beliefs. Unlike his father, he shows strong emotions which would have been seen as feminine. However, Priestley suggests that emotion is human and necessary. This highlights how the younger generation have the potential to break free from their toxic past. However, unlike Sheila, he only partially accepts responsibility for his behaviour. When he speaks about his involvement with Eva, he uses euphemisms and does not fully confess. His attempt to divert some of the blame causes him to be perceived as similar to the older generation to an extent. Priestley wants us to learn not to avoid responsibility and behave more like Sheila than like the example set by her brother. Eric's emotion and remorse when he hears about the poor treatment of Eva makes us see him as a morally superior character, though, to his father and mother. This again makes us side with Eric. Eric symbolises the younger generation along with Sheila. Priestley, through them, wants the audience to learn and continue the lessons that these characters have taught them. If Eric can redeem himself after such cruel behaviour, then anyone can make amends for the mistakes they have made in the past. By showing that Eric does not fully redeem himself, however, Priestley almost challenges the audience to behave better than Eric, rather than trying to copy him. Here are some key quotes that you can use to describe Eric's transformation. So now you've listened to the video, it's your chance to quiz yourself. You have got 17 questions. Make sure you pause the video, answer the questions, and go back through the video to check your answers. Thank you for listening.